start with Mr. Rust. Working families have real budgets. They have to stick to. Junk fees do not allow them to know the true cost of a product, making consumers pay more than what they're budgeted for. Last week, CFPB released a report finding that consumers pay more for products with, shall we say, complex pricing structures. Mr. Rust, a couple questions. What are some of the most troubling junk fees you've seen in financial services and in rental housing? And how do these hidden fees affect people's ability to find the lowest price and stifle healthy competition between businesses?
Thank you for your question. I think the point of complexity cannot be overstated. This is an issue where it becomes difficult to comparison shop because you don't know all of the costs ahead of time. I do find it stunning to see leases where there are scores of fees added on top of the original rent. That makes it that people could actually apply for an apartment, think it's affordable, receive an invitation to move in, and then discover that, in fact, it was too expensive. Credit card late fees, that's $14.5 billion a year. Overdraft fees, similar. And then just the myriad of fees that people pay at any point in time when they're having a struggle. I think you see this with captive arrangements. I listed about 10 kinds of fees that are also involved, but there are more. So I'll stop there.
Thank you. And I appreciate your comments about complexity. I appreciate Ms. Madry's the way she runs her credit union, and credit unions overwhelmingly in Ohio, I see the same way. They explain their members to explain to their members better. They keep a simple structure. They really aren't the problem. So I just wanted to say that in response to her testimony. Mr. Suero, I want to get some facts straight about CFPB's credit card late fee rule. Please answer the following, 4 questions with a yes or no. According to the law, credit card late fees are not meant to generate profits. Yet on average, they generate profits that are 5 times greater than relevant costs. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do credit card late fees disproportionately impact consumers with lower credit scores and people in less well-off neighborhoods?
Yes.
And you made that clear in your testimony. Thanks for repeating it. Are only the largest credit card issuers covered by the CFPB rule?
Yes, with 1 million, you have to have 1 million open accounts.
And that's the reason for Ms. Madry's credit union, is most credit unions in Ohio would be exempted. So the rule just doesn't apply to small card issuers, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Credit card issuers shouldn't be extracting profits from consumers through late fees. First of all, because it's unfair to consumers. Second of all, because these rules are required to be reasonable and proportional to cost. By reducing late fees, it's pretty clear CFPB is ensuring consumers save over $10 billion every year. Back to you, Mr. Rust. On rental junk fees, which is every bit as problematic as financial services junk fees. In rental housing, they're raising already far too high housing costs. Companies charge renters all kinds of fees: application fees, processing fees, convenience fees, notice fees, and I'm sure you could cite several others. Some renters report even being charged a January fee, a fee for just being in the month of January, unbelievably perhaps. Mr. Rust, can you explain the types of fees that renters face, the challenges these fees create for renters shopping for a place they can afford or manage their expenses once they sign their lease?
So thank you. And to be honest, I can't explain the fees. They seem unexplainable, right? But the truth is that I think it reflects a power imbalance. And I would say that if we had more housing supply, perhaps landlords wouldn't be attempting to extract these kinds of fees from consumers. But in the moment when there is this vulnerability, they are. I think the point about comparison shopping, it is so hard to determine how much you're really going to pay. That doesn't make any sense at all for our economy.
Okay, and again, that speaks to what Ms. Madry said, that you can comparison shop with her because they make it clear, they're simple, they're exempt from this rule. I'll point that out, as she acknowledged, but it makes it that much more complex in the larger institutions that really are the ones that extract that levy the biggest fees and the most frequent fees and are the most onerous to moderate income people and to everybody. Mr. Swaber, you want to add anything on to what Mr. Russ said?
Yeah, pointing out that there's sometimes in this, similar to the rental housing market and housing in general, in banking, a lot of people are finding themselves without a lot of options. And so the same dynamic applies here, where if you need an account or you need a loan or you need a credit card, but you only have one or two options to choose from, you're gonna have trouble. You're gonna pay what they're gonna offer because you need that account. So it makes it more difficult to comparison shop, and it makes it easier for the financial institution to raise costs.